Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make my little Jesus on the cross. So we're going to do this on a single loom, and we're going to start off by making the cross. We're going to be triple banding, and the loom configuration is that all three columns are going to be the same height. Triple banding is that you're going to take 3 bands and place them on the loom across 2 pegs together as if they were one. And what I've done is I've taken 3 different browns and I've just sort of mixed them up, and I'm just going to pick 3 randomly, so it doesn't matter if they're 3 of the same colour or 3 different or whatever, for the wood of the cross. So that's what we're going to start with, and we're going to loom all the way down this centre column. Like so. Now, because this only goes down 12, what I mean by that, I'll count them with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I want this to be 20 long. So what I'm going to do is add an extension. I'm going to take a single band, wrap it around my hook 3 times. And I'm going to take 3 bands and slide those over like that. So if I've got 12, that is now 13. We're going to keep doing this up to 20. 3 bands at a time. So 13. This is going to be 14. 15. 16. 17, 18, 19, our last one is going to be number 20. And I'm going to add this to the bottom here, just like that. I'm going to take the cat hair out as well. Now we're going down 6 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on this peg here is where we're going to put 3 to the left, and 3 to the right. Now obviously we don't have bands out here to increase that length, and I need 10 on this side and 10 on this side. So we're going to take a single band, put our hook through it, wrap it round, and again we're going to do our extension. 3 bands, loop that on, reclaim the end. Now this is 1 here, 2, so we need to do 8 more. One, 2, 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total. 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last one will be number 10. Oops. And 10. I'm going to add that to this side here, and I'm going to do the same for the other side. You started off by doing a single hook, wrapping it a few times around, and then grabbing 3 bands. So if you include the one that we already have here, this is 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, that's 4 bands, 7, 8, 9, and our lucky last, 10. There we go. And we're going to attach that here. Like that. Now to loom our cross up, we're going to go down to the bottom here, pull this forward and grab those 3 bands and loom up. When we get here, we're going to loom this one up, and now we're going to pull this side out, grab those bands, loom them across. We're going to do the same on the other side. Pull this out, grab the 3 bands, hold this in place, loom them to the side, like so. And then we have to dig down the middle here, all the way to the bottom, and find those lower 3 bands. I've only got 2, there's another one down there calling my name. There we go, I got him. Tricky little thing, trying to hide from me. Loom up to the top. We're going to take 2 bands, slide our hook down, pop the 2 bands on the end of our hook, twist that side of your hook so that the smooth side is going against those bands, and we will lift this off the loom after we take it up, over and off, pull tight into a slip knot, and then we gently take this off the loom. I would use a hook to help on that part there, which has rather a lot of bands on it. There we go, and then you can just gently pull that off. So this is our cross that we're going to be using. Now we need to make our Jesus figure. To hide these, what I would suggest doing, dig your hook through the back here and grab the bands and pull them back. I'll use a different hook, one that might have a bit more oomph. There we go. Attach those 2 loops to the end, to the hook, and drag them back through the loom, or through the loomed item I should say. I'm just going to pretty this one up. This one is just being a bit silly. I'm not sure which band it is. Aha, it's that one. There, I just tugged on it a bit. So, that's her ladyship who is sick. She's lying on the sofa and has she's requested breakfast in bed today because she's sick, and fresh flowers in her room would make her feel much better. Gotta love 5-year-olds. So there is our cross. Now we're going to make our figure. Okay, so now we're going to do Jesus's body, and to start with we're going to have our loom in an offset configuration, which means that columns 1 and 3 are the same height, but column 2 is a little bit taller. The arrows are going to be facing towards you, and we're going to be double banding, which means you take 2 bands and you place them over the pegs as if they were a single band. So we will get started by doing that, and we will be doing his hair. Some flesh tone for his face. Double banding, Kate, not triple banding. We're going to do his beard. And we're going to do a single band, one across here and one across here for his moustache, and then a single band across here as a crossover band for his to keep his head together. Now we're going to layer his hair, so we're going to put another 2 bands, another 2 bands, push them down, and another 2 bands down here, and the same on the other side. Keep pushing the bands down so that you have room, and then the 2 bands here. We're going to put 3 bands for his neck, like that, and then we're going to start working our way down his torso with the skin tone bands. Oops. So 3 bands long for his torso, and then we're going to put some bands for his loincloth. I'm using grey, a light grey. Down 2, down 2, 2, and 2. Now, to stop it being so sort of boring and all in one, column, I added a few extra bands to this to sort of give it a bit of definition in the way that it looks, so that it's not such a boring configuration. So I put 2 bands from here to here, and then I took another 2 and I did them from here to here, and the last 2 from here to here, so that it looked as if things were being, tied and wrapped a little bit more than just bloop. Okay, we'll go back to the double bands for the legs. And then for the feet, we're going to take 2 bands, pop our hook through, wrap it round once and twice, and get another 2 bands and slide those on like so. Reclaim the end of your bands onto your hook, and we will pop that here on the end of his leg. Going to do the same for the other side, so 2 bands, wrap it once and twice, 2 bands to slide onto, reclaim the end of your bands, and we will pop that. Oh, I see a broken band there. Let's do that one again and get rid of that broken band. 2 bands, once, twice, 2 bands, and slide that on. I'm glad that broke before we actually put it on our loom. That was handy. Reclaim the end of your bands, and we will pop that here on his leg. We need to do his arms. So for hands, we do a single band, wrap it once and twice, and then slide that onto a double band. And we normally do 5 pair of double band for arms. So 2, 3, 4, and 1 more pair, 5. I'm going to attach that to his shoulder here, pushing it down, single band, wrap it once and twice, go to double band, slide that on, double band, slide it on, double band, and slide it on. How many have we done here? 3, 4, and 1 more will be 5, and we'll pop that here. Now we're going to do the crossover bands that we need for here. So we will use a single band, stretch it and place it over these 3 pegs. The same here, stretch it over these 3 here. We're going to use a grey band, stretch it, another grey band, stretch it, and 1 last grey band here. And for this bit, I'm going to lift that up and put it over this last peg here. For his head, he needs to wear a crown of thorns. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to lift that crossover band up, lift this first flesh tone band up, and I'm going to place 4 beige tan bands on that peg and just leave them there. We're not doing anything with those just yet. We're going to put end caps on these 2 pieces of hair, and I have very thick bands at the moment, so I'm just going to do this actually on the loom. Usually I wrap them around my fingers and put them on that way, but because I'm useless at doing end caps as you are seeing on the loom. So once, twice, 3 times. So that's my end cap. Now we're going to start with our looming. The reason I haven't put eyes on him this time is I think I'm going to take him off the loom and see if I can actually do closed eyes instead of having open eyes. So we'll see how that looks. If it looks awful, we'll go back to the drawing board. Okay, we're going to start with his feet, pull his foot back grab those 2 bottom skin tone bands. We'll do it on both sides. And now it's just easy to loom up until we get to the loincloth. When you get to the loincloth, you've got these crossover bands. Push your hook so the back side of it pushes that out of the way, and you can get down to the bands to loom them up. Okay, and loom this one up. Next we're going to loom this one. Wiggle, wiggle to get it free, up. And I'm then going to loom this one here. Gosh, if I can get it, there we are, this one here, up to the middle peg here, so that I can move this one up. Next I'm going to move the top 2 bands here all the way up to there, and I'm going to move these 2 all the way across to here. I'm going to move this one up, push the bands down, and then I'm going to go down the bottom here and grab those 2 bottom bands and loom up. It looks completely higgledy-piggledy, and that's the look we're going for because we didn't want it to look really tidy. So we're looming up and up, dig down and grab those 2 bottom bands, and we'll loom all the way to here. What I'm going to do first though is dig down past the arms to grab those 2 bottom bands, and this is what locks the arms into place. Okay, and the other side. So now when we loom this one up, when we catch it with these 3 bands, the whole body is loomed and nicely caught. You've got all these teardrop shapes, everything's looking hunky-dory, and everything is loomed up to the neck. Now, this is where the fun and games starts. We're going to start with the hair, and we're going to push down past that end cap and grab the 2 brown bands, and we're going to hold the end cap in place and loom those 2 up. Same on the other side, the 2 brown bands for hair. Now you have to be careful because there's a brown band there for moustache as well, which I just captured. So I'm trying to be careful and not grab the band for his moustache too. Okay, let's try that again. That's 1. And it's better to do it 1 at a time if you think you might have a problem. 2. I did it. Yay. Yay me. Alright. And the next 2 up. Now we'll do the same on the other side. Go down past the end cap. Grab the 2 bands and loom up. Again, being careful not to grab the single band, for the moustache. You're going to loom these 2 bands up. And the same here, loom those up. Now I'm going to take this side off first because this band here is on top of this band here, which means that this side is the side to go first. I've got a hair in my mouth, yuck. Okay, so I'm going to take this off my loom very carefully and hold it. Okay, I'm not taking this one off, this one is staying here. I'm going to loop down and grab those 2 brown bands and attach it to my loom here. I'm going to dig down and grab my moustache band, and I'm going to loom that just across here. The moustache goes over here. dig down and grab those 2 skin tone bands and loom it up. That band decided to go walkabout. This band here now is going to go back on this peg. So reclaim them and pop them back on that peg. Now note, it's a peg lower than it started on. You've moved it from this peg down to this peg. Okay. Now we're going to do the same on the other side. So take these bands off just to this side here. So you've still got, you're only holding on to 2. We're going to go down here, grab the 2 brown bands and loom them over to here. We're going to loom in our moustache, but we are going to do some stuff with our moustache in a minute. Grab the 2 lower beige bands and loom up. Reclaim your brown bands, and they are going to go back on this peg instead of the one up here. Okay, now with our moustache we're going to take this band off and this band off. So these 2 moustache, the 2 top moustache bands are going to come off. Hold them separately, put them on the peg up here above in a holding spot if you like, but what we need to do is come down here and grab the chin band and loom it up, and then we're going to put our moustache bands back. Now the reason we've done that is otherwise you don't see the moustache. All you're going to see is the flesh tone band. You need to see some band for the moustache. Dig down, grab the 2 skin tone bands and loom up. Likewise, dig down, grab the 2 brown bands, loom up, and the same on this side here. Now it's time for our crown of thorns, and what we're going to do with that, you're going to put your hook under these brown bands here, and you're going to grab 2 of these tan coloured bands. And it doesn't matter if you grab 2 at the same time or 1. You can grab 1. We're going to bring it out from the side and attach it to that centre peg. Do the same for another one. So you've got 2 on each side. Grab it, pull it and put it on that centre peg. Let's push that centre peg down a bit. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Go under this brown band, grab the tan and hook it up, and again the same for the last one, and hook it up like that. Now we're going to take these side ones and loom across, side one, loom across, and lucky last we're going to tie these in, this crown of thorns in, dig down and just find the darker brown. You don't want to tie in a beige, and if it means you have to do this one at a time, that's okay. Do it slowly so your bands don't break, but you want to find both. And there we go, I found both. Now I'm going to get 2 brown bands. I'm going to poke my hook down the middle here and out the side. I'm going to put those 2 bands on my hook, swivel my hook so the back side of it is going to go against these bands, and pull it through the center channel of my peg and out to the back side of the peg. Then I'm going to reattach my bands to my hook. See how I've put those back on? I'm going to take the first 2, the 2 that are closest to me, up, over and off, and pull tight. That's formed a slip knot, and so that means that our little Jesus head is not going to fall off, hopefully. Okay, gently easing him off the loom. There are a lot of bands on some of these pegs, and you do not want to have something break on you right now. I use the back end of a metal crochet hook. Gently, gently. Okay, so this is our little Jesus figure. Stretch him out. For his crown of thorns, what I ended up doing was grabbing 2 extra of the tan, and I just pulled them through here and I tied them in a knot. One band first here on that side, and then the other on this side, plus it kept it sort of together so that the bands didn't sort of split apart. Tie it in a knot. Oops. Nice and tight. Then I grabbed a pair of scissors and I just snipped these so that they looked like little thorns. And the same for the other 2 tan ones. Like that. Now these 2 tag ones at the back, you can either use them as the keychain, I guess, but I like to hide mine behind my figure, and I do that by going under some of these bands and grabbing the loops and pulling them through down the back side of the loom so that they're not as obvious. Now, as I mentioned, I was going to try and do shut eyes on this particular one. So I would like to use, I was going to use a black band. I'm going to get 2 black bands, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that one, and I'm going to poke my hook through the back of his face where his eyes should be, and I'm going to pull one side through. Now the reason I cut it is because I don't want this to be as thick as as a band on top of itself, so to speak. I wanted it to be thinner than that, and come in probably before where you see his moustache, because you don't want an eye in the middle of his moustache, or maybe you do, and pull that through. Yeah, it's very difficult to see. I think that will do. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I've done them at a slight tilted angle, so the other one is going to go from here to here because he's sad. So poke that through, grab the end. Oh my goodness gracious. There we are, grabbing the end there. And I'm going to do that the other side, which is about here, I believe. Oh, no, not there. There we go. And I will loop that there. Try and do this so you can see. And pull it through. Like that. So again, he's got another eye this side. Like that. Now these, I'm just going to tie in knots at the back of his head. Says she. Can't even grab one. Oh, I'm trying to be so conscious of not pulling it so tight that you can't see his eye the other side, but I think I will have to pull it tight, and we will pull his eye forward. Okay, so that one's tied, and I will just tie this one. Like, oops. Ugh. You know the sound effects are free. Okay, I've tied that one. I'm going to pull this eye out a little bit so you can see it. There we go. Now you can trim these off the back so they're not so obvious. And now I'm just going to pause this. Her ladyship needs me. Okay, so to finish up, we actually need to attach him to the cross, and I have just used some brown bands for his arms. I've not done the nails through the hands because I thought that was going to be a little bit difficult, so I've just done the ropes on the arms by putting a couple of brown bands over the cross and the arm together, like, oops, like that. And then for his legs, let me get rid of these little bits of bands that we chopped off. What I did for his legs was I crossed them over like so, and I wanted to get a silver, so I've used a silvery grey band, and I wanted to be able to get it through all three layers. So I've got the cross, his foot and his other foot to get that through, and I figured that the easiest way would be to actually tie this sort of like this. And I did it a number of times so that it was quite tight, and slid that onto a brown band. And the reason I did it as a brown band was because it's going to be coming out at the back of the cross. I thought it might be a little bit more discreet. So we've got this is going to be our nail. And what I'm going to do is cross his feet, and that will be first. So I'm going to remove the cat hair, go through one side, go through the next, and then I'm going to pull this through. And the other side the other way. Oops, make sure that you're not going through the same hole, because as you pull it would just come back on itself. So we're sliding. There we go. I've got both ends here of on his feet like that, and we're going to slip. Gosh, I'm doing this all out of camera. We're going to try and put a finger down here so that we have the width of it, and I want to slide, and it's tricky using my hook. I want to slide that down like that so that it has his legs on it, like so. Now if you wanted to do the nails in the palms, you could do the same as what we just did here for his legs, but effectively there is our Jesus on the cross. I really look forward to seeing yours, and I hope you all have a really happy Easter.